Artemis, you know her, right? Goddess of the hunt, protector of the wilderness, twin sister of Apollo. She's one of the most famous names in all of Greek mythology. But what if I told you that the real meaning of her name is one of the ancient world's biggest and most fascinating unsolved mysteries?
Yeah, really. We always picture her with that bow and arrow, a symbol of independence and purity. But what we're going to find is that her name might be hiding a much wilder, more primal identity. So, let's play detective. We're going to follow the clues and see if we can figure out what Artemis really truly means.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The name Artemis is so incredibly ancient that its origin is, well, it's totally up for debate. The first time we ever see it written down is in Mycenaean Greek, on these clay tablets from over 3,000 years ago. It shows up as Atemito, and because it's that old, pinning down one single meaning is a real challenge.
So this is basically our case file. These are the main theories scholars have been wrestling with for centuries. You've got the ancient Greeks themselves, like Plato, who thought it was all about her purity. But then you have this other, way more primal theory connecting her to the bear. And some even saw a darker side, linking her name to a word for butcher. And that's not even getting into modern ideas that dig deeper, into Persian or even the super ancient root meaning a driving force.
So where do we even begin with all this? Well, let's start with the version of Artemis that became her most famous image, the one that really defines her in all the classic stories.
So you've got the great philosopher Plato, right? He takes a swing at this puzzle. He looks at her most famous quality, her absolute fierce devotion to being a virgin, and he connects her name to the Greek word Artemis, which means unharmed or pure. This is the Artemis we all know, the fiercely independent, eternal maiden.
But, and this is where it gets really wild, another super strong theory ties her name directly to Arctos, the Greek word for bear. This doesn't point to some pure, untouchable goddess. No, this points to much older, much wilder rituals, like the cult at Browrun. There, young girls would actually perform dances as little she-bears for her before they got married. This wasn't the stainless maiden. This was a goddess of the deep, untamed wilderness.
So you have this huge conflict baked right into her name, pure maiden on one side, primal bear on the other. And this paradox perfectly mirrors the contradictions in what she actually did as a goddess. Believe me, she was never just one thing.
I mean, think about it. She was walking this incredible tightrope between creation and destruction. She's a virgin, yet she was one of the main goddesses that women prayed to for a safe childbirth. Why? Well, legend says she acted as a midwife for her own twin brother Apollo just moments after she was born. But at the exact same time, her arrows could bring sudden, swift death to women and girls. She was the ultimate protector and the ultimate predator, all wrapped up in one.
And if you thought the bear was intense, get a load of this. Another ancient idea leans right into our dangerous side. This theory doesn't see her as a guardian at all, but as a slaughterer. And it kind of fits, doesn't it? She was known as the Potnia Theron, the mistress of animals, giving her the power to both protect a herd and, cull it without a second thought. She represents the brutal, unsentimental truth of the food chain.
So, how do we make sense of all this? Pure, primal, life-giver, life-taker? It feels like a total mess of contradictions. But what if they aren't contradictions at all? What if they're all just different facets of a single, powerful, prehistoric idea? A compelling modern theory suggests there might just be a master key to all this.
Modern linguists have traced her name back, way, way back, to a Proto-Indo-European root, Asher. Now, what's so cool about this is that the root doesn't describe a thing like a bear or a state of being like purity. It describes an action, a powerful, forward, almost violent driving force. The idea is that Artemis doesn't just mean huntress, it means the very force of the hunt.
And this one idea is incredible because it just might tie everything together. Think about it, the forward drive of the hunt, the forceful push of childbirth. And get this, it even connects back to the bear. That same root, HO2R, is also thought to be the origin of Arctos, the word for bear. Not because of the animal, but because the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear, was seen as a cosmic chariot that drives the heavens across the sky. She's the engine behind all of nature's biggest cycles.
So what's the real answer then? Maybe the mystery is the answer. Her name isn't simple because she isn't simple. Her name reflects this complex, untamable force of nature that honestly we're still trying to understand and channel in our own lives today.
And her power is absolutely timeless. Once you start looking, you see her everywhere. Her name is on NASA's program to go back to the moon, the ultimate distant target for her bow. We see her in characters like Katniss Everdeen, the skilled archer, the fierce protector. Psychologically, she's the archetype of the independent woman, totally one in herself. Her name even lives on in the Artemisia plant, an herb used by midwives for centuries, a direct link to one of her oldest and most powerful roles.
So in the end, what does Artemis mean? Well, she means the butcher, she means the bear, and she means the pure maiden. But maybe, most of all, she means that powerful driving force that pushes us into the wild, toward our own targets and through our toughest moments. She's that untamed energy in nature and in us, always challenging us to aim for our own moonshot.